son, Robin.
Uh-huh.
And then Andrea, my daughter. Jill isn't here. And Brian, yeah, he's on a holiday, right?
Yeah.
Florida. And Brian, he did try to come.
Yeah.
But he didn't make it.
Yeah.
I was real fortunate. I'm gonna cry. That I lived close to Roy my first 2 years of life. So I got him, Becky. Becky and I really got to see them a lot because of going to North Dakota before they moved to California. So we were really lucky. And then we were all lucky that he was here for his last year of life. So Dawn and I got a call in November of 2022 saying Roy was, pretty bad. So Dawn and I went. It was quite an adventure. Dawn and I didn't always agree on everything because Dawn wanted to get it all done. She wanted to get back home. And she made me nervous because she was going so fast through everything. And I'm more methodical about everything. And that as it went along, she was going to be going back home, and I said, Dawn, will you please stay at least a couple more days? So she did, which I'm very grateful. But we had to decide what things to bring to Minnesota and what things to try to get rid of. So Dawn, she was just so funny. So we had all the stuff that was left. She packed it all into boxes, and we went to Federal Express, and we had all these, and it was raining, I think.
Yeah.
That day, and then I got lost for a while. So she was bringing all these things. We couldn't have done it without Dawn. And so then we went back to his place, and we had all this stuff that was still left. So she put up a sign, come to Roy's, apartment, such and such. And people would come, and one lady came in, she said, I really don't want anything. And she left with all this stuff. And Dawn would say, wouldn't this look nice in your place? She's just a consummate saleswoman. I couldn't believe what she did. It was just hilarious. So we almost got rid of everything there. It was a futon bed that somebody was going to take, but then he decided that he couldn't take it. But it was quite an adventure. And Roy did do a fabulous job arranging everything for after he died. So it's been very easy. He's a very kind person. He was always happy to see the family whenever we visited. He wasn't necessarily happy with the staff who would come in and check on him. And towards the end, when he was in a lot of pain and bedridden, and they had to move it. They did a really good job moving him in the bed, and he just one time, he was just yelling at them, and I felt so bad, and it was hard. But then I think he got more pain medication, so then it got better. But he, everybody there liked him. He was kind to people. Whenever he met somebody, he was always friendly. And, but he would, like Dawn said, let you know if he didn't like something you were doing.
Yep.
And if, he would say, well, enough of that, and you knew you had to just kind of move on and talk about something else. He was a big reader. One of the pictures in that shows books that he had in bookshelves. And he and Becky, I don't know if he did it for anybody else, but Becky and I, he read Dr. Dolittle to us when we were young, and before that I didn't like to read. I don't know, did anybody else have that experience of him reading to them? Yeah, we were lucky that, we were the older ones, I guess. And then at the end, Becky and I both read to him.
That's awesome.
Sorry. So we were kind of giving back to him when he gave us.
He would squeeze her hand every
Yeah.
once in a while when we were
Yeah.
reading to him, even though he wasn't responding anymore.
Yeah, he wasn't talking. For a while, he was talking, but you couldn't really understand it. But he just knew what kind of life he wanted. He lived it, and he's very independent. He died with his boots on, I would say, and he just, up until the end, he just let people know what he wanted. There was a saying that he sent, I'm trying to find it, that Dawn thought for sure that Roy had sent, which makes sense that it would be him. The saying was, life's journey is not to arrive at the grave safely in a well-preserved body, but rather to skid sideways, totally worn out, shouting, holy, and I changed this word, holy crap, what a ride. So that's,
Holy shit.
Thank you, Steve.
yeah. Make sure I say everything. My last point was, yeah, I thought he knew how to live. He was very independent person, and she was very independent. So he made a big impact on my life, as he did, I'm sure, everybody's. So he'll be sorely missed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all for being here.
I missed it.
We wrote it in the book.
I did. Oh, we gotta go up further. Can I read yours too?
Yes.
So, I think,
Actually, can I preface it
yeah,
before you read?
yeah, go ahead.
I think everything that Don said and what you said about Roy are the things that I want to highlight. Is that he was very truthful about who he was, but independent. Things that I look up to for somebody that every moment I had with him is a memory of laughter. Like even the last time I saw him, I was with you two, with Roy, and it was a joy, and I didn't want to have another experience. I wanted to leave that where it was. Kind of like with Grandpa, I got to come home and say goodbye, and he got to say I love you. I got to kind of do that with Roy and appreciate who he was as a person and somebody I aspired to be like because of the truthfulness and the independence that he had. Like that's who I want to be. Like I want to be like Uncle Roy. I had great memories of him in California and in Minnesota with Sonia, but also with y'all. So I just want to. What I wrote is very real to who Roy was for me, and I think Stephen followed it up with this very similar experience. So Stephen will read it, but I wanted to share like what Don said and what you said are very true to how I see Roy and who he is, for sure.
And I think sharing a little bit about like, I went with Ryan, and was with Jenny when we went to see Roy for the last time. And it was really powerful because I remember sitting down and we were looking at the book that you created, Jenny, and it was just really powerful to like hear the story of our family told through your eyes. Like that was a really solid perspective that I hadn't actually, I don't think I actually read through those words. I just looked through the pages before. But it was fun to like sit down and talk and just be amongst that presence. It was just really good and safe energy in that space. So I think I'll preface what I'm going to read by saying that, like, in no small part, like, Roy being, like, an out queer person, an out, like bisexual man at the age that he was like, a really important thing in, like, my own life, and, like, coming out late at the age of 36. So Roy's impact is like one of legacy for me, because he was literally, at least in my two sides of the family, I'll speak for Simengaard and Keeler's, the only like out queer person that I have in my family line. That's like that's alive, honestly, because they were either like killed themselves, or they didn't make it because of the AIDS pandemic. So like that's real, right? So that's what and Eric said. Someone say, I'll read Eric's first because Eric inspired me. Roy, you will be missed. All of my memories with you are full of laughter. Thankful for leading the way in being out as a queer, bisexual person. That legacy is important to who I am as a pansexual. I love and miss you. And then I wrote, thank you for being the only out queer person on both sides of my family. Your example allowed me to finally come home to myself as an out, non-binary, pansexual person. I love my queerness, and I love you, Stephen. So that's what, amongst other things, that's what Roy means to me, because like, it was hard not being myself for 36 years, and then like, seeing Roy always living his authenticity, like, was what allowed me to like be who I am. So I will always remember Roy because of, I mean, he stood out, right? I mean, this is not easy to be that age and identify that way. So I appreciate that. Thank you.
That was when we visited him in Oregon at Thanksgiving. And one thing that you just kind of got the aura of Roy is that everybody that we ran into knew him and liked him. It was kind of amazing. He really did own that part of the neck of the woods. And I kind of got that feeling with Grandpa Arnie with his taxes, where everybody that walked into that house knew who he was at a deep level and loved him. And I think Roy did that same thing with his neighborhood. And that's something that really sticks with me, is he saw people for who they were, and he loved them for who they were, not for what he thought they were, but who they actually were. So that's his legacy to me.
I might as well say something.
Yeah.
In my life, I had few male role models. Absolutely not very many. Not hardly any. And Roy was one of them. And to me, that was everything, to know him. So if we had a toast, we would raise our toast, even if it's water.
Yeah.
And we'll drink to Roy, because Roy was a fantastic and loving person, and I'll cherish every second I got with him.
I got to come every Thursday for 2 months. I had off from work every Thursday, so I would go with them to see Roy. So it was so a special time, because we drank coffee all the time. Even when he was in the bedridden, he wanted coffee. So I was taking a straw and giving him coffee. I said, hopefully this is not too hot, and stuff. So it was such a blessing to do that, to spend that time with them. We just had laughs. We had him laugh. The time he sang Happy Birthday.
Oh, that was
He started Happy Birthday, and we couldn't believe it. He was starting the Happy Birthday to Ginny, and it was such a special time how he just started off, because he wasn't really talking that much, and he started singing Happy Birthday. We were all shocked. So that was a special time to be able
at the right key.
So I got to go for 2 months, straight on Thursdays with all you, and that was a special time just to be with all you guys to visit.
And have popcorn that
Yeah.
Yeah, for all the popcorn and
popcorn and
Yeah, and
all
all
that.
the
He
other things.
loved that, all that food over here.
Yeah, we always brought him ice cream and chocolates.
Yeah.